All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It is August 26th already. This is our fourth and final session of the Transformational Stylist series. But please know that going forward, we are here to support you. So we want you to know that if you ever need anything, if you ever have a question, if you want a connection, if you want some support, like any and all the things, please reach out to us. We want you to succeed. We want you to make that vision that you've been creating this last month an actual reality. And we want to be able to do everything we can to help you get there. So I'm leaving up that Google Doc with all the information in it. I'm leaving open the WhatsApp chat for as long as anybody needs it. Okay. Now, today, Kieran and I are fingers crossed, crossing our fingers, crossing our toes, hoping pleading that you guys are going to be able to share with us. So to come on when asked and share your vision, share who your dream client is, it would be amazing if we could do some brainstorming throughout this and really help each other out on where we can actually meet up with and start connecting and building relationships, becoming a fan of your ideal clients, right? Let's all support each other. Let's all get this conversation going. But I'm going to, because now I'm obsessed with slides, apparently, I'm going to share just a few slides, a little bit of an overview, and kind of throughout that, I'll ask some questions. So if you feel comfortable turning your camera on and chit-chatting, or just unmuting yourself and chit-chatting, if you want to do it, just typing in the chat, whatever you like. But Katie, I'm sorry. I think that you're like doing all the admittee behind the scenes, but when it comes on my camera, I have to click admit people.
Oh,
I'm
no
sorry.
problem.
I'm like, oh, yay, more. Okay, so let me share my screen here today. Okay, here we are. Okay. Oh my goodness. Why? There we are. You think by this point I'd just be like nailing this. Present. Okay, so a little overview today. What is your vision? Have you kind of narrowed down and gotten specific on like your target market, your ideal client, who you are
Hold on.
wanting to who you are wanting to do business with, right? Kieran took us through some really awesome slides and information last week about like figuring out who you're going to be marketing to, right? Who you want in your business. Maybe some of you sat down and did some research on like other hairdressers or salons in and around you and how they market and what they charge and all of the things, and just kind of get a broader understanding and knowledge, like what you're up against, how you can stand out and make yourself visible in this crowd of beauty professionals, and like really focus on what you want, because again, it's all possible, all of it. So we're going to dive into vision, kind of ideal clients, and then where are you going to meet these people? And that's where I would really love some brainstorming. So when we get there, I might be putting you guys on the spot. I'm just warning you now. So don't leave, but you may have to speak or at least type because we need to all help each other. And then I want to offer everybody a social media audit, and I'm going to tell you what that is. And I think that this is one of the most important things I find when I'm helping mentor, coach hairstylists or beauty industry professionals. And honestly, this can go for any sort of industry when you're growing a business. Um, I think that we spend so much time really concerned about like, what am I going to post on social media, right? What am I going to put out there? When way more energy needs to be focused on how am I going to connect with my ideal clients on social media, attract them over to my profile, which is then going to be like your business card. Guys, how do I like, I'm like, how much filter do I need? I'm none. I'm not going to filter anything today. I hear so often, I'm posting all these things on my Instagram and my books aren't full. All of us are posting things on Instagram. Billions of people are posting things on Instagram, right? All of your before and afters look fairly similar. All of the pictures are all the same and they're just being bombarded. We're bombarding people. Like, right? You turn on your phone and you get 9,000 pictures and things. What's going to make yours stand out? It's not the thing that you post, it's the relationship you build with these people who may be seeing your posts. And like, side note, like under last time I checked, it was like 6% of your audience actually sees the things you're posting anyways. So do not be wasting your mental energy stressing out, right? All of this time into having to put these beautiful things on your social media. Today, we're going to talk about actually spending the time to make connections with people. And when you start chit-chatting with people online, when you start showing up to serve them, to get to know them better, to listen to them, to ask questions, to love on them, to educate them, to add value, to be a fan, that's when your stuff starts showing up for them. So we'll kind of talk about all of that as well. Now, vision. I don't know if you use that the journal prompts, the vision casting journal prompts, or the questions that Kieran had asked everybody. So I don't know if you actually took some time to put down your answers for those things in the first week. And I don't know if you then took some time before this session to go back over them. If you haven't, definitely do it after this call. It's a super cool exercise to just see the difference and kind of see how much you've expanding or how things have changed as you're actually being aware of what you want and focusing on it and giving it some time. So I hope you've done those sheets. I do those sheets constantly. Like once a month, I revisit, what do I really want? Where's my belief at now? Like, did anybody here, you can like even just show your little hand on the screen. Did anybody here pop on the first week, sit down and kind of write what they want their life to look and feel like, yet have those doubts, that kind of broken belief? Like, is this actually something that's possible for me? Does anybody question their vision or not quite believe in themselves that they're able to get there? 100% me. Anybody else? Every time I create a new vision for what I want my future to look like, I doubt it, right? There's disbelief there. How is it possible? I have seen none of that in my future or in my past. I'm sorry. There's no evidence in my past that I can actually do this thing in my future. And that's scary. But I think the more you push yourself, the more you dream bigger, the more you take those teeny little steps, you start seeing those results. And that belief over time will grow and grow and grow and grow until you get to a point. I'm like, hopefully, I'm still not 100% there yet. Get to a point where you know that every single thing you want, you can get. Right? So, visualizing. Would anybody here like to share their vision? Like, what do you want? There's a chat. Yes, please, somebody share. I used to struggle with that a lot. I've been better about it over the last couple of years. Awesome. Mackenzie, is there anything that you've been doing over the last couple of years that have helped you kind of build that belief in yourself? Maybe it's like, I know for me, every time I create a new vision, and it's something I've never done before, taking the actual action steps towards it, right? Every time you take that little step and you see a result. So let's say you want to add 50 new clients to some new business. You just started doing hair extensions. You want to build up that business and you want 50 clients in there. You've never had a hair extension client. You've never brought on 50 new clients for some little specialty, right? You're like, oh gosh, how is this possible? But you take those teeny steps, right? Maybe 10, 15 minutes a day, connecting with people online, building those relationships. You're out in your community. You're going to hair shows and wedding shows or volunteering at school, whatever it may be. And then somebody asks you, hey, you do hair. I popped on your Instagram. Do you do hair extensions? I've always been thinking about getting that. Maybe they book in a consultation. You're somewhere and someone's talking about thin hair. And maybe you just mentioned like, oh, I throw in like, you could always throw in just like a few little bonds, a few, like one bundle of hair extensions and just thicken all that up. It's barely any work, right? You just have this little conversation with someone. You notice the next day they add you to Instagram or Facebook. They start creeping around your stuff. Maybe they book in for a consultation. And then you start seeing these little steps that I'm taking, as insignificant as they may feel in that moment. I'm actually starting to see these little results. And when you start seeing that, your belief builds. And when your belief builds, you gain more confidence. And then you want to go out and you take more steps. And then you see more results. And it's this whole, right? This whole circle that just keeps building. And all of a sudden, one day you look back and you go, oh my God, I'm here. I now have 100 hair extension clients. What's next? What can I do next? And then the fear and the doubt sits in again. But you just take those little steps. Mackenzie writes, I've been practicing Reiki on myself. And yes, small little action steps, one thing at a time, builds confidence and skill. Yes, totally, exactly. And I love the Reiki. I love the energy thing. I'm a big believer in energy. Obviously, we did like a whole session about it, right? I love all that. It's like that personal inside work that nobody sees. And then those physical little action steps all blended together. So sorry, I'm very rambly today. Just like stop me at any point, guys. So vision. Would anybody like to share kind of where they are now and what they want? Mackenzie, is there something in picking on you because you're chatting with me? Sorry, it's not fair. Is there something that you're really going for, striving for in the future that is not in your life right now? And it can be in business, since that's what we're talking about, but it could be anything. It could be, if we're talking about this too, something that you really, really want. There's no evidence of it in your life right now. Or anybody else. I would love to hear from all of you. Look, who else do we have? Cynthia, Michelle, Cindy. Yes, there's guys, I love that you're all here today. Chat. Planning on learning trichology and oncology aesthetics, amazing. But I'm still in my 4th month of normal hair school and I need to find an apprenticeship first. Okay. If you feel like unmuting yourself and chit-chatting with me, please go for it. Otherwise, we can do this in the chat. But do you have, Mackenzie, do you have any doubts or disbeliefs or like around that? Still being in school, are you like, oh gosh, is this even possible? Or are you one of those people who are like, nah, man, I'm good. Like, I got this. Everything's possible. It's all going to work out. I'm giving you a second to type. And then anybody else too, would anybody like to share their vision?
So Carly, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you are envisioning something that you are planning to try for the first time, would you uh, allow yourself to take a risk, and how big of a risk can it be?
I love this question, Karen, and I want to know your answer for this after as well. I'm gonna share a little story. So I was standing behind the chair for like 20 some odd years. I have a salon in my home. It's where I am now. And I loved my business. I had, like, over those years in doing this work, I had a client base of people that I loved. I did the services that I loved. I made great money and I had full flexibility in my schedule. It was like perfect. But I knew that there was just more. I wanted to do more. And I really wanted to do stuff like this. I wanted to mentor people. I wanted to coach. I wanted to teach. I wanted to share all the things that I had learned. So I set up an online school, which actually, if any of you have been on the entire time you're here, you get access to my online course for free. You can just have it. So I built an online course and I set up a whole like coaching program. I knew what I would teach at every class. But it was terrifying to actually step out into that and to, like, show up in the world as that person. Like, I felt so strange being like, how do I explain this? If somebody would ask me what I did, I'd say, "I'm a hairdresser." I wouldn't say, "I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, I'm a whatever, I'm a speed," like, I would just be like, "I'm a hairdresser, I take clients behind my chair." Right? And that would be the first thing that came out of my mouth, and I knew there was such a belief, there was like that gap, right? I was never going to become this coach if I saw myself as, I'm going to say, just a hairstylist. And I don't mean it like that. I just meant like that's still where I was. So, asking about taking a risk, I had a coach and he said to me, you're never going to be as successful as you want to be in this teaching area if you still see yourself as just a hairdresser and you don't take that leap, you don't take a risk. He goes, I recommend to you, you close down your salon. Like, back yourself up into a corner, close down your salon, and fully focus just on this, right? Like, keep the vision only on what you want, not what you have, not what's working, what you want. And I did. I like went upstairs to my husband. I was like, listen, today's my last day of work. I'm closing. I sold my salon chair, like all of my things, so I couldn't go back to it. And I had no income. I had zero income. And I'm not recommending to you guys that you quit your jobs and have no income coming in. My husband has a great job, and like I was able to do that, but still terrifying, right? Just like breaking up with all of your clients, not doing the thing you've done for 20 years. But if he had asked me to do that even a year or so before, there's no way I would have done it. But I spent that time, the whole year, really focusing on my vision. I meditated on it. I journaled on it. I wrote out all like how my life's going to be, all the stuff we're talking to you guys about. And I built the belief that it was possible. And then I took that risk. Um, Look, this sounds crazy when I say it out loud. But yeah, I'm a very big believer and you have to take a risk. Like 99% of the world just stays comfortable. And 99% of the world just has the same day over and over and over and over. We're just on this hamster wheel. It's the people that build that belief, build that vision, take those little steps, fail and fail and fail and fail again, but continue to learn from that and keep going. And yeah, take those risks. Those are the people that create, I believe, and you guys may prove me wrong, that I believe actually experience new things in their lives and live these, I don't know, like imagine taking a risk and it all works out. How empowering is that, right? And the only way for you to fail is to quit. So, like, take the risks. Now, Kieran, I want to hear your side of this.
One more question. So, is there a perfect time to take a risk?
I don't believe so. Do you?
So there's no perfect time to take that risk. It's just the belief, and then you try to make it perfect during your journey, right? So you fill out those gaps, and now you are in it. It's your way to succeed. So if you talk about like my vision was to coming to Canada 24 years ago with a small child with me, recently graduated, knowing nothing about Canada, uh, and just trying to explore myself here with everything around new to me. I have not. I'm coming. I was coming from a very hot sort of a country, and arriving in Canada in February, where I see snow everywhere. So it was a very different kind of experience. We were stuck, all closed in home. It was hard to go out, no car, anything. Um, and then things happened. I could have, because I had a business degree, I could have started my own business and all. But I had this passion of helping others, of supporting others, consulting and helping them to start their own businesses. And that's how I started my women's support. No background, but I was upgrading myself. I uh, did my specialization in nonprofit sector, and I was volunteering without knowing, because in my country it was usually helping others. It was not volunteering, nothing very structured. You just go. It's you know you have to help others. But here there are volunteer hours and all that, and I secured my um, what do you call it, citizenship in Canada through those volunteering hours that I dedicated with unknowingly. Um, but the vision of helping others was there. So in the beginning, there were 10 women, and then it grew. So it's now 20 plus years, and I have not looked back. So I'm living by fulfilling the dreams of others. And that's what keeps me growing as well.
I'm cutting you off because I love that you said that. And I truly believe that the more you serve, the more you help other people, the more you're going to get back in return. And it's like that's the sustainability and the keeps the joy and the passion, right? When you can, and we do that as beauty pros as well. You
Oh,
don't have to make,
100%.
right?
100%.
Yeah. So I love that you said that. I feel like if you simply focus, you can have your vision of what you want. And when you put in there focusing on how you can serve and help other people, that keeps you going.
Because
Do
whether
you,
it's a product or service, you are
yep.
solving a problem.
Do you now, um, do you have a bigger vision now? Like, do you want to do more now, or sorry, in the future than what you do now? Is my question kind of was jumbled there, but do you know what I mean? Like, do you continue to see bigger and bigger and bigger, or are you at a place right now where you're just very content with what's going on?
So the dream client, the target audience is women. So that's defined. With COVID, um, we and exploring more virtual options, now we have gone international. So it's growth, it's potential. Once you find your niche, you don't need to look back. And that's what I see. If you define your passion, if you define your niche, if you define your skills, if you define what the gaps are in between, there is no looking back. And
Oh,
money comes after. Money comes after.
yep. I
It's there.
agree. Yep. I love that. I can hear your story. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna wake up in the morning and be like, can you share your story with me again? And then any of my excuses are just gone. Cynthia, I would love to join the world of artistry. Yes. Can you please let us know when you do? Because it'll happen and we would love to know about it. I love this. Okay. So the inner work, the things we were just kind of been speaking about this, the things that you focus on expand, right? So if you're focusing on all the reasons why it may not work, if you're focusing on, well, this person tried to do the same thing and it didn't work for them. I hear that one a lot too. It's not going to work for you. Focus on what you want, and that is it. And I think that's a crazy thing because we're not taught that. We are taught to use our senses to see the world. So the things that we see, hear, taste, smell, things that have happened to us already, the physical things in our world, right? What happened to this person or that person? The, personally, that's all that I was taught to focus on growing up. Well, so and so couldn't do it. You can't do it either. Or it's never happened for you. Just stick with what you're doing, right? All of that stuff. Let's toss all that in the garbage and focus on only what we want. Make every decision based on what you want, not what you believe is possible for you. What do you actually want? Like, that's fun too, right? That's a good one. Spend time with your vision every day. Date your goals. Date your goals. Seriously, just in your calendar, block off 10 minutes and just sit. Sit and daydream on what you want and how that's going to feel. Journal it, visualize it, right? Like, one really cool exercise I love doing is at the beginning of every month, I write myself a page. And I pretend that I'm writing it from the very last day of that month. So let's say September starting. On September 1st, I'm going to pull up my journal and go like 30 days has September. Okay. And write like September 30th, 2024. And I'm going to write things like, I am so happy and grateful that I got to blah, 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 like all the things, right? I had some beautiful new clients in. I made $2,500 every single week. I just put a down payment on a car, like whatever you want, and just pretend that it's actually happened. And then I read that every single morning when I wake up. And I can't explain to you how many times those things have come true by the end of the month because I'm focused on just that. Remember, the things we focus on expand. Energy attracts energy, right? So if you're living up here and you're like excited for all of these things, you're going to attract more of those things to you. And then also, we talked a lot last week about kind of self-awareness and just continue with that. Like, when you are thinking about your future, when you are taking those steps, even like those physical steps to do things for what you're creating, how are you feeling in it? It's all about the energy behind the things. So if you're out and about looking to connect with people, and we're going to go into that a little bit more, I believe, in the next slide. Are you showing up in these places in like a yucky, I have to be here, I don't want to do this, blah, 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 like energy and attitude? Is that what you're giving off? Because you're not going to see the results that you want. Or are you going into these places knowing that these are the things that are building your dream life for you? It's a whole other vibe, and people feel that. Okay, so we talked a little bit about this last week as well. Would anybody like to share who they've kind of narrowed down their ideal client, their what markets, like who are you targeting? So that sounds very aggressive. Who are you targeting? I don't mean it like that. Would anybody like to share? And I'm asking because if you can share some details about these people you would like in your business, the rest of us may be able to help you locate them. I'm going to wait for some chat stuff or anyone to come on. Please just interrupt me. But a little refresher, like when I started at home, I wanted a client who could come daytime because I didn't want to work evenings, weekends. I want someone who came often, right? Because that repeat business is great. So maybe that's great coverage. Someone who had to upkeep maybe a shortcut, they have to keep it up, kept up. I wanted to work only on women, no children, no men. I love doing extensions, but I love doing extensions for fullness. So when you have all those things, you think, all right, where are these people, right? Where can they hang out? I met these women at school. I met them in local networking groups. A lot of them were business women. They loved coming into the salon because it was quiet and peaceful. I had a desk they could work on, right? Maybe your ideal client is someone who just shares the same interests as you, so you can have really easy conversation. Maybe you love books. Join some book clubs, meet those women. Maybe you got a new puppy. I always go to the puppy thing. Go to the dog park. Join puppy groups online. Anybody. I'm going to make us sit in uncomfortable silence. The people don't answer. Okay. All right, we'll continue. These are the questions. They are all in the Google Docs sheet that you all have. The Google Docs sheet was also sent out, the link to it in the email reminder this morning and on the weekend. Okay, where can you meet these people? And when you guys have ideas as well, if you've ever met somebody just randomly out somewhere and they've become a client of yours, please let me know. So in person, I know that we all spend a lot of time online, and I know that maybe it's easier to meet people online, but did you know to build a relationship with somebody online takes like 8 to 10 touches? It's a lot of follow-up. It's a lot of continuing to build that relationship. When you're in person, you can be in somebody's space for a couple of minutes and make that connection. It's very, very different. I understand it takes more work. You have to get out of your pajamas. You have to go like get in your car or take a bus, go out in public somewhere. You have to like talk to people. Like it's more of that kind of stuff. And I think since COVID, we've all kind of hibernated a little bit. But I'm going to give you some ideas for either or. In person, I'm side noting again. If you're building like a global business, or if you can take clients all over your province, all over Canada, all over North America, right? I get you spend a lot of your time online meeting people. For sure, because it's international, it's global. But being behind the chair, your clients are going to be within a driving distance from you, right? Go out in your community. Can you imagine you get out there, you become a fan of other people, and just like that, your name is spoken about in a positive light when somebody randomly messages or mentions they're looking for a hairdresser? How cool would that be? You're now not even in the room. Some ladies are out for dinner. One person says, oh, my hairdresser's having a baby. She's going on mat leave. I need somebody. Another one of the women at the table goes, oh my gosh, I was volunteering at my kid's school. And one of the other moms, she's super cool. Like she was so nice. I'm pretty sure she's a hairstylist. Let me connect you. Like that is so cool. When you build this word of mouth advertising, like you're golden, you're set. That's the coolest thing ever. So get out there. Volunteering, hobbies. Do you have hobbies? When you're out and about doing things that you love, you're going to be in just such a beautiful energy. You're going to be smiling. You're going to be happy. You're going to relate to those other people who are doing that same hobby as you, right? You're going to connect. So cool. And then networking groups. I have been to, I think, every single networking group in my city. And I only met one other hairdresser in one of the other networking groups. I don't know, maybe these networking groups are actually for like realtors and lawyers and insurance people, like all, I feel like there were so many of that. But I went in there, I was the only hairstylist. I met all of these people. They all checked my boxes of ideal client, right? They could come during the day. They needed to look great. They had their gray covered. And I showed up in that networking group not like so serious. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of like lifting everybody up, making jokes, cracking like, I don't guys, we can make such a massive impact and our job is so important. But our job is also fun and it can be chill. And like we get to make people look beautiful and we play with hair and we talk all day. So like, yes, understand how important it really is, but also like let's lighten up, let's have some fun, let's get out there, let's make some friends and just be kind to each other and nice. And like that's what's going to attract people to you. Community events. So I guess the holiday season. Oh, Kieran, yes.
I have another question, Carly. So there are some um, the usual groups, the usual networking groups that you go to, right? So you know that the beauticians will be coming, the hairstylists will be coming, some people who would be pursuing this career. And then you mentioned that realtors and professionals and others, uh, and you accidentally go into that kind of networking session. How would you approach them? How would you start the conversation without being intimidated or sometimes it's you're stuck in your seat. You don't want to make the first move. You don't want to go to them and talk to them. How what's that energy? What's that drive that makes you get up and start the conversation?
Right? Because sometimes that is very intimidating. I think you've already said it as we've been speaking, service other people. So if you can ask them, I'd love to know a little bit more about what you do. Why did you become a realtor? Just ask them questions. People want to talk about themselves. And then I would end all of those conversations because really, if you ask, say you're at the networking group, there's like some realtors standing here, some like insurance people here, and you're thinking like, oh my gosh. I used to do it. I'd be like, all I know is hair. I know nothing about insurance or money or this or that or the other thing. Who am I to walk up to this group of people? Um, but I would just, that was like that 5 seconds of courage, right? Like 1, 2, 3, get off your chair and then go over and I would just ask them, like, how long have you been doing this? Why did you start? And people would talk forever. And then like have like a back pocket of questions you can ask people. Actually, I'll share those. I have a million fun questions that I would ask people that would always get crazy conversations going. And then with those crazy conversations, people would remember you, right? Oh my God, there's so many ways I can go. I'll share those in the Google Doc too. But then I would end every one of those conversations with, please let me know how I can support you in your business. I would love to be able to help out. And people remember that too. Because at those networking groups, a lot of it's like that kind of get energy, right? Um, and not a lot of people even asked me what I did, even asked about me, but they would connect with me after because they knew I may be someone who could support them. And then you just continue to build that relationship. And so many of those people became my clients. I have hair clients that I did for 20 years who didn't even know how many kids I had. But because that time was about them, right? And that's what they love. They didn't have to come in and listen to my stuff. Kieran, what about you? I'm sure it must have been intimidating or uncomfortable, or like when you first came to Canada, showing up in these places and networking and building those connections with people. Do you have any tips on how to do that?
Um, I'll start with become the fan because not everyone have. I'm a good listener, right? I want to listen to stories. And people like telling stories. No one around have that time, but even it can be listening is a trait, but you have to be an expert in it. You have to be an active listener. You don't have to, like, you cannot be a boring listener. Otherwise, that ends the conversation there. You have to interact. You have to ask questions. You have to um, make that person important. Otherwise, you cannot build the relationship. You cannot build a clientele. My like the target market that I have chosen is women. Usually, they at home they are the last people to who are listened to. They are listening to their kids, their spouses, friends, and all, but at the end, their stories remain untold. So when you ask them questions, when you start making them feel that they are also important, they have this plethora of knowledge, they have these stories, amazing tips. But first, you have to keep this in mind that they are important and you are building a relationship. That's why you are getting up from that seat and going there. So, and then they're good people. If they don't answer, it's not because of you. There's something that's going on, so don't take it personally. So these things I learned during the passage of time. It doesn't come then and there, but yeah, and this is how you bring. I won't say clients in my field. They're not clients. They are friends more because they are sharing their personal information with you and they want real solutions for that. And only good friends can share good information and good resources, and they really want to solve your problems.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I love that. And I think it takes the pressure off when you go into it, making it about other people, fully takes the pressure off of you. Online. So where can you meet people online? And again, I'm going to go back to this. You don't have to be the one posting everything, right? Join Facebook groups that are in your community or that interest you, and just look for what other people post and see where you can add value, right? Maybe somebody posts that they're local or they're new in your community. Why don't you send them some of your favorite restaurants, right? You know, you see their page, they've got little kids, send them a really awesome splash pad in town, right? Ask them if they're looking for XYZ. Again, make it about them. It's all about them. The comment section. Oh my goodness. So you're in a Facebook group, you see somebody post, you can add all the value, you're sending them things. Read the other people's comments under that post as well, because they may be looking for the same thing, or they may be other people helping out as well. How great is it to have a connection with somebody else who also likes to help out and support, right? Trust is transferable. So as you are connecting with people, as you're supporting people, as you're liking and loving on people, as you're becoming a fan of people, please know that those people who you are connecting with, who you're building relationships with, you're building that trust and likability, you're making them feel good. If that person doesn't become your client, it doesn't matter. But that person, their trust in you, that their likability, they may have a friend who's looking for what you do, and they may refer them to you. Or maybe this person who you're building trust and likability with isn't looking for a hairstylist right now, isn't looking for whatever you offer right now, but they trust you. And in the future, they're going to remember that. So every time we're out and we are connecting with people, it doesn't have to be for the end result of gaining clients. It can be for just being a decent human being and supporting other people. Because that is remembered, because that is felt. And people remember how you make them feel. So I was gonna say something so rude. I was gonna be like, so I don't care where you are or who you're talking to or what you're doing. Energy up, smile on your face, be kind to people. Ask how you can support them, and then truly listen and help. I love that you said, Kieran, don't be a boring listener. I never kind of, I fully understand what that means. That was great. I know. I love that. Go online, search your city. LinkedIn's such a cool place. Like maybe you want to do trichology. Maybe you want to speak on stage somewhere as like a beauty expert. LinkedIn's a super cool place too. They have a sales navigator you can use, and there's actually a free trial, and you can kind of type in your exact like target market, and they will send you people to connect with. You can go on Instagram and just search up your city, right? Like hop on Insta, search your city, posts, and then just go through. And if there's posts from your city that you align with, I always go to dogs. I'm sorry if there's cat people in here, I apologize. But say somebody has the same breed of dog as you, right? Click on their post and kind of creep around on their page and see what they're up to. See if this could be somebody who you could build a relationship with. And then just like and love on them. Um, Again, be a fan, right? This is all we've been talking about. Um, be kind, support people, relate to other people, make things about them, educate people, consistently show up, do what you say you will do. And then just be really aware of your energy and your body language and smile. Um, we kind of talked about this. When you're online, just love on people, like things, love things, right? We talked about it last week. When you pick up your phone and you see that a bunch of people have commented on or loved something that you've posted, it makes you feel good. Do that for other people. Get into people's DMs. Hey, did you know that when you're on social media, so I'm going to say Instagram or Facebook, I'm not too sure about the others. If you're on Instagram or Facebook and you can get into somebody's private messages, so by what? Offering value, right? Educating somebody, even just writing them like a little thank you for maybe somebody posted one of those inspirational quotes and it really just like hit you in the heart that day. There's nothing stopping you from sending them a private message, from shooting them a DM, being like, hey, I needed that post today. Thank you for sharing that. That's it. When you can get into somebody's message, like private messages like that, your things will show up on their page. So that's a cool one to think about as well. So instead of just posting where barely anybody really sees your posts, instead take that time to message people, to serve them, to add value, and your things will show up on their pages. And that is why your social media profile needs to be like your business card. So I'm going to kind of walk you guys through this a little bit. I know that, no, I'm pausing here. Does anybody want to share anything? Does anybody have a question? Does anybody want to tell us something? Does anybody know what they want, but they're just not quite sure those first steps to get there? I'm muting myself for like a full minute so I don't keep talking. And I'm going to wait. And if you have questions, throw them in the chat. If you want to come on, please do. But I'm just going to give everybody a minute to maybe share. This is how impatient I am. I don't think it's been a minute, but I'm coming back on. The WhatsApp group will stay open. If you have questions, please ask. Okay? Okay. So, thinking about your social media profile as your business card. I'm going to show you some examples. Oh, there's a chat. Mackenzie, thank you so much for showing up and for engaging. Honestly, I'm very, very grateful. I know what I want and how to get there. There are barriers I have to figure out first. My biggest one is probably going to be financial barriers. I'm a low income single mom, but I do know that there are resources out there for me to access once I'm closer to finishing school. Kieran, can I have you touch base on this?
First of all, Mackenzie, you are um, you are great. You take initiative. You are planning. What are the steps that you need to take? We will be sharing with you some resources. I think you know some of the resources. That's what you have mentioned. But we will share with you some grants, some funding opportunities that you can apply for. The links will be shared. I'll share it with Katie, I think, Carly, and then we can put it on the Google Doc as well. So, just a question, Mackenzie, if you are planning to start your own business, would you be going like renting a chair, or are you planning to start your home-based salon, or looking for apprenticeship? What are the plans? And anyone, if anyone wants to, you know, share that if they're planning to start their business or they are looking for apprenticeship, because we are okay. Once I finish my school and apprentice, renting a chair.
Until
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to open my own salon. I love that you have like stacked goals. She's like, I'm gonna rent a chair, gonna open a salon, gonna be a trichologist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should all clap. I
And
love it. Oh, sorry, Karen.
and this is all achievable, by the way. This is all achievable. Yes, please go on, Carly. You were
Sorry.
saying.
Uh, my dog has advice. Can you hear the dog barking? I'm really sorry, everybody. Um, so yeah, so school and apprenticeship, I love this. It's kind of one of those things where you want to keep your vision on like your brain on the biggest picture. And then it's funny, right? I don't know if anybody else here is like you have that time, you're focusing on all the things, and then you like open your eyes or you come back to and you're like, oh, I'm in school. So there's like the little baby steps, but it's all those little baby steps
Mm-hmm.
consistently over time will get you whatever you want. My advice to you, Mackenzie, is while you're in school, when you're looking for apprenticeships, when you're apprenticing all of it, soak up as much information from everybody around you. So in school, at like continue to just ask questions, not even about like the technical things you need. Ask your teachers, like, what have you done in your career? What's your advice, right? Like soak up everything. When you get into this apprenticeship, learn everything you can from the person at the front desk, right? They always know all the things. Learn everything you can from every single stylist. Try to learn all the business things, the client things, the technical things. Like just continue to learn and grow yourself. Continue doing your Reiki, continue with like your inner work too, because that's the stuff that's going to build your confidence, right? And that's the stuff that will build your belief. And one last thing, I feel like so many of us put this timeline on things based on what other people have done. I hear this a lot is like, I'm just starting my business. I'm apprenticing in X amount of years. People told me I'll have a client base in 2 years and then I can rent a chair. And then people have told me that in 5 years from then I can open a salon. Screw the timelines. Who knows, man? You might be apprenticing somewhere, and because you're so focused on what you want, your brain is looking for opportunities. Somebody could walk into that salon and they might have a connection for you to just go right to your salon stylist working under you. All like you don't know the timeline. So I would say throw out the how, throw out the when, focus on the teeny little steps you need and the vision. And even when you're in school, like you can start building your client base now. This is a beautiful time when you're out there connecting with people, being a fan, just serving and showing up, building all those relationships. Once you get out and you can take clients, like we said, trust is transferable. That likability will always stay there. Maybe not, maybe not always. I'm like, I feel like I've done some things in some relationships that likability is not there. But we learn from our mistakes. But yeah, like start right now. Just like this is my end goal, and just start building relationships and networking. When I wanted to do my coaching, teaching stuff, I intentionally put half an hour aside a day and I just tried to serve and support other people in the industry. So people who are where I wanted to be. So I built relationships with other coaches. I built relationships with people who had platforms that maybe someday I could teach on. I built relationships with the Ontario Professional Hairstylists Association, right? Just how can I support you? And all of those things have opened up doors to stuff in this industry I didn't even know were possible. So just do that, Mackenzie, just focus on that. Focus on getting really good at your craft and focus on connecting with people and building your network. There's a really amazing book called Lead the Field. Oh, it's back there. Lead the Field. It's by Earl Nightingale. And I recommend this book to everybody. It's super cool. It's really like everything that Kieran and I have been talking about in this series in a book. It's so cool. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I want to show you a couple people's social. Oh my God, there's more chat. Yes. Thank you for the advice. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. So this is a hairstylist who's local to me. She works at a salon called Hush Salon and Spa. Now, this girl is out there in the community everywhere. Like, honestly, every yoga session that's put on in the community, she's there meeting people. She does like those ice plunge things when they're there. She'll go to like Queen of Craft, like to the brew house and meet people. She's just always out in the community. She always has a beautiful smile on her face. You would never know that she is the most introverted, anxious, not confident person ever, but she knows what she's building and she puts on that persona and she gets out there and she connects with people and builds them. Guys, maybe you're sitting here thinking, oh, it's really hard for me to talk to people. I'm really shy. I don't like going out. We've all been in situations where, say, we're meeting a partner's parents, or I don't know, I always go to meeting a partner's parents because that's always like the time for me. You put it on, right? You put on that, I'm going to say mask, right? Even if you feel right now, you've got to put on this mask, this persona and show up, right? And you smile and you're kind. We can all put it on. We can all do it. And the more that you get out of that shell and the more that you get comfortable showing up like that, showing up just trying to serve, right? The more it'll just kind of become a habit and the easier it becomes. So I know at first networking, meeting people, it's super uncomfortable. I get it. Like I'm not saying that it's not. It is for most people. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. And the more you can just be like, this is about other people and take like the only time we're all weird is when we're making it about ourselves, right? When it's about other people, we're fine. And then we get into our heads and it's about us, and we're out trying to get people to help, like, and then we get weird. So just keep making it about other people. But anyways, okay. So this is like a business card. You're out and about, you meet Billy, which I love her name too. You meet Billy at a hot yoga thing. Chit chatting away, she's asking you all about yourself. You've told Billy so many things about you. She's been smiling, she's been listening, she's been asking follow-up questions. You really feel like she hears you and she cares, right? You're feeling special, you're feeling important. And you're like, I'm going to creep this girl on Instagram. Don't tell me we don't do this. We all do it. We creep other people on Instagram. I really hope I'm not the only one. You go, you find her on social media, or maybe at the end of your conversation, Billy said, remember this one. Billy said, hey, love this conversation. We should connect online. She adds you to Instagram, you add her back, right? Smart Billy, continuing to keep that relationship building. You go to her Instagram and you're like, holy crap, I know everything that Billy does. Here's her business card. What she does, she's a hairstylist. Where she works at Hush Salon and Spa. Where is it? It's even where it's located. Her specialties, short hair, curly texture hair. You got a little bit of a personality in there. She's a Virgo, gender neutral. She's a cat mom. You're like, I got a cat. I can't believe Billy and I didn't talk cats. Oh, wait, we were too busy talking about all of my other things because she gave me the time and made me feel special. And then there's a link there. And maybe I can book a consultation with Billy here, right? Maybe I can see more of the things that she does. And then I scroll down on Billy's Instagram. There's a little bio. Hey, I'm Billy. There's education, right? What shampoo and conditioner should I be using? She did a little workshop here, which was super cool. She's got some pictures of her work. You see her cat somewhere. Where is it? Oh, I didn't scroll down enough, but little bits of her sprinkled in. So cool. You know what I don't see here? Negativity. Her opinions on things like politics. um, I don't, like, you know what? I remember in hair school, they said, like, don't talk politics. You don't talk, what was it? There was like a few things. Apparently, I talked for all of them but politics. But like, if you're growing a business and you're using your social media to do so, your social media is business. It's not what you think about XYZ. It's not trying to cause a kerfuffle about some other thing that's going on in the news. It's not negative posts talking crap about whatever. This is business. This is education. This is feel good. This is your work. This is professional. A lot of times when I go through people's social media, it's very, it's not very professional. You might have, and one of my clients, my best clients ever, she came every 4 weeks. We had very different opinions on certain things in the world. We just didn't talk about those. I didn't care if she didn't agree with me. She didn't care if I didn't agree with her. This was business. This was feel good. She's getting her hair done. This was about the things she wanted to chit chat about, right? Same with Marissa. So you see, she's in beauty, cosmetics, personal care. She's in Edmonton. Extensions and custom color are what she loves to do. Oh, she's a solo stylist, My Loft Suites. So, you know, like that's probably a very private, kind of quiet area. Awesome. Oh, sweet. She's taking new clients, and here's how I can book with her. And dog mama. I love that. We can talk about dogs. And then you have, right, in her bio, just a little bit about her. This tells about her. There's where she's located. She takes you for a little tour through her suite. Here's her extension work, right? Look at her beautiful work. And then here's just a little bit of personal. Here's her dog. Her dog goes to work with her and sleeps on her clients' laps while they're getting their hair done. It's the cutest thing in the whole world. If you didn't like dogs, you wouldn't go to Miss It. But if you do like dogs, here you go. She does education. She does these little like science experiments with color. Like, this is great. You know what it is. You know what you are going to be getting when you go to see her. It's like your business card. So again, these little steps, guys, little teeny intentional steps consistently over time, they lead to enormous growth. And from the sounds of it, how do I stop sharing? From the sounds of it, we all have these visions where we're going to need some enormous growth. And that's so exciting. And that's so fun. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be just a few little things a day. Like, what if 15 minutes when you wake up in the morning, you really focus on your future? You focus on that goal, that vision. Whether you meditate, whether you visualize, whether you journal, whether you just sit with it, whether you stare at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself like it's already happened, and you're like, yeah, way to go, man. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, girl. Like, you killed it. All the things you wanted are happening. Like, you never gave up, right? Like, whatever, however you want to do it. 15 minutes. That's it. And then what about 15 minutes at lunch or in between a client? You spent looking for your ideal client online and serving them, connecting with them, loving on them, right? Being a fan. And you just did that for 15 minutes. You just loved on people. And then what if at the end of the night, you did the same thing, another 15 minutes. You just loved on people. Just building those connections, building that business. And then on the weekend, you take an extra course, right? Maybe you go on YouTube and there's some woman showing you a new way that she does a certain technique. And you just like have a drink and you watch that. Just like upgrading your skills, upgrading yourself, upgrading your belief. And it can be teeny little focused amounts of time during the day. That's it. It doesn't have to overtake your life. What if every week you had a goal of making a connection with one person who's doing what you want to do? Imagine in a month you have 4 people who you can ask questions to and you can reach out to, who are doing what you want to do already to help guide you there. It doesn't have to be big, huge, scary things. Um, okay, I gotta stop because I could go on forever about this stuff. Any questions, anything, Kieran, anyone, all the things. The mic's on you guys.
So, can I take a chance? Like, Carly, I have a question. Um, if, for example, like Mackenzie just shared that she is planning to rent a chair initially, and then she'll start her own business afterwards. So we always talk about doing our homework whenever we get time. At this moment, what would you suggest? Should Mackenzie have her professional account, professional Instagram account set, and start posting the different hair that she's doing or the work that she's doing from now? So then she will have a history
Mhm.
after, like when she will start her business. And should it be a personal account, or can she start with a business name, or there is always chance to change the name of the business of the Instagram account?
Yeah, I don't know, Kieran. What I don't really know if it should be personal or business, but I think that yeah, like as soon as possible, start showing your work, start educating. And even if you're in school and you don't have a lot of work to share, educate people. You could do a little tutorial on how to properly use your blow dryer and a round brush. You could do just like a little post about why you should only shampoo your scalp, but just condition the ends, right? Like we know so much more than the general public, even just being in school. You know so much about hair that most of the population doesn't know. So I would start that page. I would put education on there. I would show little glimpses of you. I would show your work. Like if you have like a model at school, or even you just do a really awesome, like I don't know, like a roller set on a mannequin. Who cares? Just to like show that you're doing it. Because too, I think it's really, really important to start connecting with people who are where you want to be. So you're connecting with people using, say, Instagram. If you send someone a message or like something, they're going to look at your profile and then they'll know, like, oh, she's in school, she's apprenticing. Maybe in your profile, it could be like, dreams of owning a beautiful salon, or like, who knows, right? Whatever you like. And then they're like, okay, this is a legit person. She's working towards something. They may be more apt to answer your questions, or like, okay, and now I'm side noting because I have another idea. Mackenzie, you want to start a salon someday. I would, if there's any salons near you who you like, you love the vibe, you've heard really great things about the owner, start building a relationship with that person. And honestly, it can be, you can message them and be like, I know this is a random message, but I have heard the most amazing things about you as a salon owner and about your salon. You are living the business life that I want to live one day. Um, if you ever have a minute, can I ask you a question? Or I hope it's okay. I'm going to be following along. Anything, or end it with like, what were some of the roadblocks in you getting here, or why did you decide this is what you want to do, right? Go back to asking those questions. But you could do that now, and dude, you never know what will come out of that. Yeah. Kieran, what was if somebody is, how do I word this? So you're here, you want to be here. And remember when there's just like all the jumble, like it's very overwhelming. And you think about all the things that need to be done, all the what ifs, all the everything. It can be very overwhelming, right? Do you have anything you would recommend for just really simplifying everything, or like uh, taking it one day at a time? Do you know what I'm asking you? Like, how did you keep things simple when you were like, I have this idea for my women support. There's all of this stuff.
Mm, Carly, when you are trying um, a recipe for a first time, what usually you look for in a recipe is the ingredients written in a simpler way, that everything precise, and the instructions to use those ingredients. So, and do you have all those ingredients to prepare that? So, so write it down. Write it down that if you're planning to start your salon in 2025, April, do you have the qualification? Is your business registered? What are the steps? What are the things needed? Is this what you're planning for so many years, or are you compromising just to start from a certain point? So write it down. Like you said, that manifest for 15 minutes maybe, or start thinking about your dream salon for maybe 15-20 minutes. Dedicate your time to your own self and collect the information, the knowledge, and the gaps that you want to fill, and write it down. Because when you see it on the piece of paper, it helps you to solve. It helps you to achieve it. Because sometimes it's in your head and it stays in your head, but this is also a step from head to the paper. This is also a step towards success.
I love
So
that.
uh, even if you don't want to write, take an app or put it in your notes and maintain that journal on your phone. Sometimes, we don't have time to get that notepad and the paper and all that. Make it simple, whatever works for you, but start collecting that information. So that can be the first step. The problem that you want to solve.
Awesome. I like that. Figuring out the areas that there's that gap and what you need, and then going about each one, what you're going to need to be able to fill that gap. And then just take it one by one.
One by one.
Awesome. Well, I love this. We are reaching our time limit. So for anybody who has been here this whole time, who has shown up for us on the 4 weeks, you are going to receive a prize and we will be reaching out to you. The prize is you have an online course that is yours for life for free. It is self-paced. So it actually, I developed this course from the very start, kind of what we're talking about. Like, I want something different. It starts with vision. It goes deeper into all of that. There are modules on how to actually start your own business, what you need to do, the steps you need to take to start your own business. There are modules on connecting with people, building relationships. There's modules on like, oh my gosh, setting up your space, different opportunities, and like, it's everything. You can go through it. You have it forever. You can reach out to me whenever you want if you have questions about it. And for everyone who has been with us for for the whole series, wow, it's Monday. You will have access to, Karen, can you share Canva to a Canva Pro account? Which is amazing, guys. The stuff you can build on Canva. Sorry, Karen, you know more about Canva than me. I just get too excited. You go.
So, like for a business, we talk about your presence on different social media platforms. And what you need is sometimes you can record your own self. Sometimes you need to edit that video that you have just recorded. Uh, and sometimes you need to create posts to share the information with your clients that this is what I'm good at. These are the services that I'm offering. This is my location. Some quotes, whatever, and you need a platform to create those posts and to be present on different social media platforms. Like Carly mentioned, if LinkedIn is the platform that you're planning to connect with professionals, or if you're planning to share your post regularly or on Instagram or Facebook, you need uh, a platform to create those posts. And Canva is easy, it's user friendly, and My Women Support will be offering you a free professional Canva account. And there are so many great things that you can do to get the engagement going. And there is a short course as well that will be shared with you. And if you have any questions, you can definitely send us an email. Katie can share our email address as well. So all questions are welcome. So are we doing the draw today, Carly and Katie, or we will be sharing with them afterwards?
Yeah, I think afterward we'll just double check like everything from all the last weeks, and then yeah, we have
Oh,
everyone's email from the registration, so we'll be in touch with everyone.
that will be great. And one more thing, Katie, if you can share the information about our upcoming prep trade of hairstylist, there is a chance of three um, lucky people who will get a chance to be an apprentice at a Vela salon and win a big prize worth $500 plus.
Oh yeah, I think it's like up in the thousands. They get an entire starter kit.
Starter kit.
Maybe we can share that in the email as well,
Yes.
because it's a
Okay.
super cool program. And yeah, they're at the end of the program, they're choosing a few people to have to get hired as apprentices in these wellness salons.
So if you are in GTA, you don't want to miss that opportunity as well. It will be starting in October.
Yeah. Do you think, Kieran, if you guys want more information about that, follow the Ontario Professional Hairstylists Association on social media. You can follow My Women's Support on social media, and you're welcome to follow me on social media. I'll be posting about it too. But it's an amazing program, and there's more info to come. Guys, this was wonderful. Kieran, I love every second I get to spend with you. And I am so grateful for all of you who showed up. This will be recorded and posted. So if you need to come back, or if you have fellow beauty industry professionals who would like to see it, they can access it as well. Okay, I guess we're good, eh?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Carly. It's a pleasure, and I learned so much. And I would say, keep dreaming, and you have it in you. So there, you can find your dream client. You can make your dreams come true. And connect with us. Connect with My Women Support. Connect with Carly. Ask questions. Ask questions. There is no right or wrong question. Just go and ask for help.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah. All
Awesome.
right. Take care.
Bye, guys.